A few months back, when I had just finished Frontiers, I was in this situation where I beat the game. I felt like I kind of got most of like the content of the game, but I didn't really know what to do. The post game for Frontiers is not very clear. It's not direct what you're supposed to do. So today, I hope I can answer that question for some, because I'm sure that I'm not the only one that was in that position. So today, I'm talking about my top 10 most fun things to do in Frontiers post game. Number one is fight all the Guardians. There is a shockingly large amount of fun to be had if you go back and fight all the Guardians. Actually, like, going back and replaying them, they're actually a lot better than I gave them credit first try. Some of my favorites have actually become the ones that I did not like in the beginning. I am actually a big fan of Fortress and Asura now. Now that I'm at that point where I've kind of found ways around the jank and around the kind of dumb things, I found that they're actually pretty good. Like for Asura, most of the time I honestly go up his side and don't use the arms. I would usually use the arms to get a little bit up and then climb onto the body, which is way more consistent and a lot more fun. And plus, once you actually get to Fortress, he's just a punching bag, so that's fun by nature. Number two, master the combat. Now, I wouldn't say that I've truly mastered the combat. I've gotten pretty good with it, I'd say, but there's still a lot to learn. And, well, I'm not really one to tell you how to do that. There are some great videos. I have a card in the corner of the screen that really tremendously helped me. Like, once some of that stuff really clicks in, my goodness, it is like 5 times more fun just fighting enemies. Like, for real, it is seriously so much more fun once you've really figured it out. Once you've actually figured out all the controls and all the combos, once you've got that all together, it is so fun. And for number 3, sprouting off of the mastering combat, replay the game with no upgrades for the better boss fights. This is almost essential. Like, a ton of time has come out of this, because if you go back and actually go replay the Titans, just going through the game and making save files before all the Titans with level 1 Sonic, it is amazing. I'm gonna be honest, it is such a blast going back and really refining how the Titans work, because that first playthrough can be cool, but man, yeah, a lot of time went into these, because there is a lot of attacks that you would not notice first time. Absolutely not. I refuse to believe that you would notice it. For example, in Wyvern, if you actually don't press Y and B to do the animation of him being thrown, if you choose to not do that, then you can actually get him to shoot a laser out of the mouth. I didn't know this. I replayed the boss 5 times and had no idea this was a thing until I really started experimenting and playing with a lower level Sonic. Did I really see how flipping deep these go? And so, a question that I actually asked myself when I was wanting to go replay these fights was, I don't really want to play the game again. I would like to replay the bosses, but I don't want to go through the entire game again. And yes, I absolutely agree with you. So for number 4, find out the best way to replay these fights. Now, I do have an entire route that I like to take where I can get to Giganto and Wyvern in under 20 minutes, but I'm not doing that in this video. I'm going to make a separate video on that, and if that video is out, you will see it in the card in the corner right now. If there is no card, then I invite you to subscribe because that video is going to be coming pretty soon, in a week or so. So if you'd like to see how I get to those early 2 boss fights in a easy, beginner-friendly way, then make sure you subscribe. And so for number 5, kind of complementing the speedrunning strats, speedrun the game. I am no speedrunner, but going through the game in a more quick-paced fashion is definitely a lot of fun, and there's a good bit of fun to be had. And so, if you're a person who's good at that kind of stuff, I mean, the game lends itself pretty well to speedrunning. I mean, it's a Sonic game, it's kind of his thing. Number 6. Go back and really give CYBERSPACE a chance. Now, CYBERSPACE, I do not blame people for thinking it is bad. I mean, it's literally reusing levels with physics that are kind of worse than forces. I don't blame people for not liking these, but I do think there is some reasons to like them, and I would encourage going back through them and, I mean, getting all the S ranks, unlocking all the stuff, getting all the red star rings, doing all the challenges in each level. A great way to have a lot more fun with CYBERSPACE is the homing dash. I'm pretty sure most everyone knows about this trick now. It's a great trick, but the way it is that it's not absurdly broken that it just destroys the game. It's just the right amount of broken, making it where it's an actual element. It's an actual piece of movement tech that is interesting. It doesn't just destroy the game and just make you skip the entire stage. You actually have to incorporate it in smart ways, which makes it stupidly useful because it's not just completely broken. Now, yes, it's still a glitch, and yes, you can tell that it is a glitch and was by no way intentional, but it still is really cool. One more tip I'd like to give: in a couple stages, you have to make a turn where you actually can't do it well. Well, I have a solution. Press the slide button. We literally have a button that is called slide. I don't know why nobody thought of this. Like, I saw a video on it a couple weeks ago, and yeah, it works. Like, it almost feels too good. Like, I think this was how you're meant to do it. I'm not even gonna lie, because it controls well. It controls better than a drift, in my opinion, because the drift kind of locks you into an arc a little bit. But this, you have full control. I mean, look at this. It's really cool because you get to retain most of the momentum from your boost, so you're going a lot faster than your base running speed. And you don't have the disadvantage of not being able to turn well while boosting. And for number 7, I have one more thing about CYBERSPACE. It is play through all the CYBERSPACE stages in the arcade mode. So what I mean by this is going through every single one in like one big run, because you can beat pretty much all of them in around 30 to 40-ish minutes if you've got some practice. This is a really fun thing to do. I mean, number one, just because it takes time, but also it's just kind of cool doing like a full marathon of all of the different stages. And it's honestly just a blast. I would recommend you try it. And so for number 8, take photos. Now, yes, the photo mode is coming soon, and I am very excited for that. But you could do pretty well with what we've been given. If you turn off the UI and make the camera close to Sonic, you can get some pretty cool screenshots, and it's actually really nice. And you can take advantage of the fact that when Sonic is close to an enemy, he has this custom animation where he's more combat ready. Like, I didn't know this until after beating the game. If you hold down the boost button when you're not moving, he does this like ready stance, and it's really cool, and I didn't know that he did that. For number 9, just mess around with the game's movement. There's just kind of a lot to do. I mean, just running around, going up and down hills is really fun. There's cool stuff you can figure out, like, I mean, heck, did you know that the ice bits in Chaos Island that you're meant to slip off, you can drop dash up that? I didn't know that. That's cool. Like, just stuff like that. There's lots of neat things to find that just make running around a blast. You're not really fighting, but you're just kind of running around. And so for our final one and number 10, 100% the game. very self-explanatory, not much to say here, but if that's kind of your thing, I'd recommend you do it. I'm not personally one to really get too much enjoyment out of doing it. I plan to do it in the future, and I'm kind of on that journey of doing that, but I'm not really one of the people, I just don't really get too much enjoyment out of that, but I think it's still a good recommendation nonetheless because, I mean, you get to experience everything the game has. So, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed. This was a fun video to put together, and I hope it was a fun video to watch. So, I'll catch you next time. Goodbye.